The Alliance for Charitable Reform is a project of the Philanthropy Roundtable that educates legislators and policymakers about the central role of private giving in American life and the importance of protecting philanthropic freedom.
And so we worked together. It wasn't just the Flamboyan Foundation. We partnered with Kinesis. We partnered with Jaime Marti. We partnered with the Center for the New Economy and the Urban Institute to really look at what was the current situation with donations in Puerto Rico and what would happen if we changed the tax law to make it more amenable to donating on the island. We then shared that study and that research with CPAs, with the Treasury Department, with the State Department in Puerto Rico, with a variety of different entities on the island, and giving them a variety of scenarios and saying, well, this is good information. What do you think should happen based on this information? Could the tax law change? And frankly, we hit the right time. We got lucky in some ways with timing, that the tax law was being changed on the island. Lots of things were being taken away, and this was something that could be put back into the tax law. Because again, we don't think a tax law change is ultimately going to drive philanthropy, right? Like, it's a piece of a much larger puzzle of how to drive philanthropic giving on the island, but it was an important piece. And we felt like this particular study could give us baseline information that we can then use to be much more thoughtful and focused with how do we continue driving philanthropy on the island. $47,000 people in Puerto Rico made a charitable tax asked for a charitable tax deduction on their tax return. And this is only 4.6% of the 1 million folks who filed taxes. So the good news is there's lots of opportunity to drive philanthropic giving on the island, right? There's lots of opportunity to increase that 4.6 number into significantly more. When we look at the United States, if we look, it's approximately 26% are giving in the United States, so we have a lot of opportunity there. So that's one takeaway. I'd say the other takeaway we found was that charitable giving increased by $5 million. That's also exciting, particularly given the financial situation that Puerto Rico is facing right now. That's definitely something to celebrate. The third takeaway was that the giving at different income levels was completely varied. And that's something else for us to dive into and to understand more. In some of the income levels, giving dropped, but in other income levels, it grew. Just also as a note, this only measured people who, A, filed their taxes, and B, said they made a deduction on their taxes. There could be a lot more giving going on the island that's not captured in the tax return. And so that's something else we're thinking about and considering as well. And we are going to do that study to look a little more deeply at what is the profile of giving, whether you're deducting it on your taxes or not, because we have the exact same question. First and foremost, giving in Puerto Rico does exist. It's very familial, right? It's very much helping family and very much ensuring that family is well taken care of. That is not always captured on a tax return. That's number one. Number two, generational wealth, which is what we see in the United States, making up a lot of that 26% of giving, is generational wealth. That is just also new in Puerto Rico. And I would say the third thing is we need to look at the economic crisis that Puerto Rico has been facing over the last 8 years and see if that is contributing to that 4.6 number. So we've got lots of different things that we're looking at, but certainly the culture of giving and the history of giving is something that we're looking at on the island as well.